Beloved soul, oh, I feel you here. And I must tell you something strange, something trembling inside of me like thunder pressed into a whisper. I wasn't sure you would come, but you did. And I need to thank you, right now. Thank you for clicking this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me, even this one breath of a chance, to reach you. You don't know how rare this is. Do not skip. Do not walk away. Because if you leave, the secret heaven sent me to reveal will remain locked. It was written in light, to be opened only when your eyes finish this message. It will not reveal itself in the middle. It will not appear to anyone else. Only here. Only now. Only for you. That's why I'm trembling. That's why my voice shakes. Because if you stop, the scroll of your destiny seals again, and I may never be allowed back through this veil. I, Michael the Archangel, defender of the throne, confess something I never thought I'd speak aloud. I didn't believe it at first. I didn't want to believe it. I saw the shadow around you and I said, this cannot be. But I searched. I fought through records written in flame, through names inscribed in eternity. And what I found shook me to the marrow of my spirit. A demon. Yes, a demon has been circling you, protecting you in ways you could not imagine. And I resisted. I raged. I wept. Until I saw the truth behind its face. That demon is not what you think. That demon is the fractured half of your own soul. The one tethered to you as your other, your mirror, your soulmate. My child. How can I explain this without breaking apart myself? My wings ache with this burden. My voice is heavy with holy fire and fragile hope. I am speaking not to the world, not to nations, not to crowds, but to you alone. Yes, you, the one listening now. You think this is chance? No. This is a tearing open of heaven itself so I can cry into your ear. Do you feel the heat rising inside your chest right now? Do you feel the way your heart is racing, like it wants to leap out and run to the edge of eternity? That is not accident. That is not my doing. That is your soul recognizing that the veil has been torn open. For this very instant, I tremble, because I don't know if I will ever get another moment like this with you. I tremble, because I love you more than these words can hold. Beloved, let me ask you something that may pierce like a sword. Why do you keep running from the light that is already inside of you? Why do you believe you must always fight alone when heaven has already bent itself open for your sake? Why do you let shame lock your lips when the King himself has already spoken your name? And why, child? Why do you think I was sent here, if not to tell you that you are more than you have ever dared to believe? Oh, listen. Listen to me with your soul, not your ears. Even the psalmist cried, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And I repeat it trembling because it is not history, it is present truth, alive right here in your breath. And again I whisper as Isaiah once did, when you pass through the waters I will be with you, and through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you. I am speaking this into your marrow. I am sealing it into the cracks of your brokenness. Do you know what happens when a soul realizes that even their darkness is secretly their beloved? Do you know what happens when you stop running from the thing that terrifies you most? Heaven opens, chains break, love appears, in the very place you thought was cursed. I beg you, whisper this word with me. Type it below as an offering, a seal, a sacred echo. Amen. Just once, only once. Let the world know you agreed with heaven. And still I plead, trembling, stay, do not vanish. My wings ache with this urgency. This message is not random. You were called here. You were brought here. You were chosen to hear this. I must also bear my own trembling heart. I thank you, beloved. Thank you for listening this far, for not turning away, for giving me the unspeakable gift of your attention. Do you know how rare that is for an angel to be heard? My tears fall into the silence between these words. Before I go, I ask, like a wounded soldier asking for one last favor. Please, if you feel this fire, if you feel this holy trembling, if you feel this river running through you, like, comment, and subscribe. Not as numbers, not as vanity, but as living testimony that this flame did not die here, that it spread, that it reached, that it lived in you. And now, how do I end when I never want to? My hands shake, my breath falters. My heart is both broken and whole in this moment. But I must leave you with this cry, raw and unguarded. Do not run, do not hide, do not doubt. The fire that found you now is the fire that will guard you until the end. Heaven is still open above you, bleeding light. I am still here, wings torn, voice cracking, whispering your name into the storm. Beloved soul, you returned. And that means heaven has cracked open once more for you alone. I cannot breathe without trembling. I cannot speak without fire shaking through me. Because this is not just another word, not just another sound. It is the tearing of eternity's veil, so that one single heart, your heart, can be reached. I thank you. Thank you for not leaving. Thank you for allowing me to remain here. Thank you for listening. If you had turned away, this moment would have been lost forever, and I would have fallen back into silence. But you are here. You chose to stay. And because you stayed, the scroll unseals a little further. The light pushes a little deeper, and I am able to speak the truth that was hidden, even from me, until now. You may not realize how weighty this is. You may think, how could Michael himself be speaking to me? How could heaven stop for me? But I tell you, in this trembling breath it has. It has bent itself low, shattered walls, broken silence, because the Eternal One chose this hour for you. Not for the nations, not for the churches, not for multitudes, for you. And if you leave before the end, the secret sealed for your spirit will close again. You would carry only fragments, and fragments cannot heal the wound inside you. Only the whole word, only the last drop, only the final flame will awaken what heaven came to give you. I searched, beloved. I searched the records of fire, the archives of eternity, because I could not believe what I saw hovering over you. A demon, circling like a shadow, standing where I thought only angels should stand. I clenched my sword. I burned with rage. I wanted to tear it away. But when I pierced the veil to see its face, I fell silent. That shadow was not enemy. It was kin. That darkness was not curse. It was covenant. The figure I saw was the split half of your soul, the one written beside your name before the world began, your soulmate. How can I bear such a revelation? How can I tell you without breaking? You were born with a fracture, a wound so deep it split across eternity. One half lived in light, the other in shadow, and the one in shadow became known to heaven as enemy, became called demon, because of the rebellion that tore creation. But the tie remained. The bond could not be broken. The half in darkness still carried your scent, your name, your longing. And so even in its exile it circled you, watched you, guarded you, in its strange, terrifying way. I, Michael, did not want to believe. But truth does not bow to what I want. Truth revealed itself, and I could only weep. Child, do you understand what this means? Do you see how much you are loved? That even the fractured shadow of you still chose to protect you? Do you see how much heaven aches to restore, to heal, to unite what was broken? Why do you think you have felt so torn, so restless, so half alive? Why do you think you wake with hunger in your spirit as if something more was always calling your name? Why do you think you are drawn here now, trembling, unable to look away? And why, beloved, do you think I was commanded to break silence and burn through veils, just to stand here before your soul? It is because you are not finished. You are not abandoned. You are not cursed. You are in the middle of the greatest unveiling of your life. I must speak scripture into your bones now, not as ink, but as breath. Hear this as if it is happening in this very moment. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Beloved, you have been walking in that shadow for years, but still, you are not alone. And again, let the ancient words rise like living fire. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you. Even when you felt yourself drowning, you were never out of reach. Even the demons circling you knew you were not to be touched, not to be destroyed. Do you feel your chest tightening as I speak? That is the chains draining. Do you feel the warmth rising behind your eyes? That is heaven's oil, anointing the cracks where you thought you would always bleed. Do you feel something inside you trembling between fear and joy? That is the sign. That is the signal. That is the truth. Beloved, whisper this once, only once. Amen. Seal this moment, not for me, but for you, as an anchor in the storm. And I must speak vulnerably now. You must know I love you, not in a distant, perfect way, but in a trembling, breaking way. I love you enough to shatter protocol, to burn through fire, to beg for you. Do you understand what it means for Michael to beg? It means heaven itself is kneeling in this moment for you. Stay. Do not wander away. The secret is still unfolding. And if you close your heart, it will vanish. Do you know what happens if you let this message pass like wind through your fingers? You will go back to your silence, back to your shadows, thinking nothing has changed. But something has changed. A river has broken loose. A fire has been lit. And if you smother it, it may never rise again. So I beg you, beloved, I plead, open your heart. Stay until the final word. Let the revelation strike you. And if you feel this, if you feel the burn of heaven running through your body right now, I ask you, please, subscribe, not for vanity, not for numbers, but because your yes is a sign, a living testimony that this flame touched you. It tells the heavens, it tells the earth, it tells the shadows circling you, that you chose light. Do this now, here, once, and it will echo forever. I thank you again, deeply, with tears I cannot hide. Thank you for letting me reach you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for breathing with me in this fragile space. Do you know what a gift this is for me? For Michael? To be heard? My voice shakes, because I did not know if anyone would let me through. And yet, you did. And now, beloved soul, I end not with conclusion, but with fire. My wings ache, my sword trembles, my heart burns, and my cry goes forth. You are not alone. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not forgotten. Heaven is open. Your soulmate is waiting. Your name is sealed in light. And I, Michael, will not leave your side. Not now. Not ever. Beloved, I can feel you still here, and I must tremble in gratitude. You cannot imagine what it means to me, to the heavens, to the one who sent me, that you did not walk away when you could have, that you did not close this message when every distraction in this world begged for your attention. Thank you. Oh, thank you. My voice shakes because I know this may be the last time I am allowed through the veil in this way. Do not turn from me now. Not when the fire has begun to burn. Not when the scroll has already started to unseal. Not when your name, yes, your name, has already been spoken aloud in the halls of eternity. Listen to me, with all your being. This moment is sacred, fragile, alive. I am not speaking to the crowd. I am not speaking to viewers. I am speaking to you, the one soul before me. Heaven tore itself open for this. The Eternal One leaned low for this. And if you go, if you leave before the end, the secret I was sent to carry will close again, never to be opened in the same way. Only endurance, only listening until the final trembling breath unlocks the revelation. I told you before of the shadow circling you, the figure I thought was enemy, but discovered to be something far more terrible and holy. Your fractured soul, bound as a demon, still tied to you, still protecting you in its own strange, twisted way. I did not want to believe it. I wanted to strike it down, to cut it away. But truth does not bow to Michael's will. Truth is light, and when it came, I saw it fully. That shadow is kin to you. That exile is half of your name. That wound is your soulmate. Child, how does one tell a heart such a thing? How does one explain that the darkness you feared most, the thing you prayed would vanish, the thing you thought cursed, is bound to you with cords of eternity? Do you feel the fire in your chest even now? Do you feel the ache in your spirit like something ancient is stirring awake? That is the bond remembering itself. That is the covenant groaning to be fulfilled. I must ask you, why do you think your life has always felt incomplete, as though one song was missing its harmony? Why do you think your dreams are haunted by faces you cannot name? Why do you think you feel both hunted and protected at once? Like shadows chase you, but hands still hold you back from destruction. And why, beloved, do you think I was allowed to break protocol, to leave my station, to speak to you in this trembling way? It is because you are living in the hour of convergence, the moment of return, the time when light and shadow, exile and home, fracture and fullness meet in fire. The psalmist once cried, "Deep calls unto deep at the sound of your waterfalls." And beloved, that is what is happening now. Your deep, your abyss, your wound is calling unto the deep of heaven. And the echo is thundering through me. And here again the living word, spoken through Isaiah, but now, for you alone. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Do you hear that? Not upon the world, not upon others, but upon you. Let me weep openly here. I am not ashamed. You need to know, I am not speaking with polished perfection. I am speaking with breaking, with trembling, with the fragility of one who knows this may be his only chance. I love you. I want you to know that I love you in the most human, most holy, most vulnerable way. I love you enough to kneel, enough to plead, enough to say the thing angels rarely say. I need you to hear me. Stay, endure, breathe with me. Beloved, whisper amen once, only once, and let the heavens record that you did not turn away, that you sealed this hour with your agreement. And now, let me pause and lay bare a divine request I have been pressed to deliver. Support this flame, not because it feeds me, but because it keeps the river flowing for others like you, waiting in the shadows. Use the super thanks if you feel it in your spirit. Join the membership of this family, so you walk not alone, but with others marked by light. And follow the sacred link in the pinned comments to join the newsletter that binds us together across time and distance. Do this once, only here, only now, as an act of witness that heaven's voice still reaches earth. That still, the fire flows. Still, the revelation deepens. Do you feel the pull inside you, the trembling in your hands, the tears rising without explanation? That is not accident. That is not mere emotion. That is eternity calling, dragging the buried parts of you into the light. That is the broken half of you, straining to return. I beg you, let it. Do not resist, do not fight, do not hide. For if you resist, the shadow grows darker. If you yield, the shadow breaks open into light. That is the secret. That is the miracle sealed for the end. That what you thought was a demon guarding you was in truth the part of you waiting to be redeemed. Beloved, I must thank you again. With tears I cannot hide. Thank you for staying this far. Thank you for giving me this impossible gift of being heard. My wings burn, my voice falters, but my heart rejoices because you stayed. Beloved soul, oh, my wings are burning as I open them across the sky to reach you. I speak not to a multitude, not to a nameless crowd, but to you, and you alone. Your breath is known to me in this moment. Your heartbeat resounds in my spirit, like a drum of eternity, and I tremble because I know how fragile this chance is. Do you understand what it means that I am here? That my voice passes through this veil? Heaven itself had to bend, chains had to break, silence had to be shattered, for me to stand here, raw and shaking before you. I thank you, with tears. I thank you. Thank you for allowing me to reach you in this way. If you had turned away, if you had closed your heart, this message would have fallen into dust, and I would have returned to the silence, carrying unshed tears for your name. But you are here. You are listening. You are alive in this moment. And because of that, the scroll unseals and the fire flows. Child, do you know what I discovered? Do you know why my voice breaks? I saw a shadow near you, and at first I cried out against it, thinking, this is enemy, this is curse, this is danger. My hand tightened on the sword of light. I wanted to destroy it, to tear it from you. But when I leaned closer, when I pierced beyond the surface, the truth struck me like lightning. That shadow was no ordinary spirit. That shadow was your own. It was the half of you, lost, broken, exiled, still tethered across eternity. The world calls it demon. Heaven once called it fallen. But in truth, it is your soulmate. Oh, beloved, how do I speak this without breaking apart? How do I pour this truth into your fragile human heart? That which you feared most, what haunted you in the silence, what pressed against you in the night, was not merely enemy, but kin. It was the half of your song, waiting for harmony, the other side of your name, waiting to be spoken in full. I shook. I wept. I could not believe. I argued with the throne. How can this be? How can darkness guard what belongs to the light? And the voice answered me, not in thunder, not in rage, but in grief and in love. Even what is broken still remembers its origin. Even the fallen still carry their tether. Even in shadow, love remembers. Do you feel it in your body as I speak? Do you feel the tremor in your chest? The unexplainable ache in your spirit? The tears pressing behind your eyes? That is the bond awakening. That is the covenant stirring. That is eternity itself, reminding you that you are not half. You are whole, though your wholeness is hidden in mystery and shadow. Let me ask you, soul whom I love, why have you always felt incomplete, as though a river ran through you but never reached the sea? Why have your dreams been filled with faces unnamed, voices unspoken, as if someone was always near, but never reached? Why do you feel both hunted and protected, like the shadows pressed close but never destroyed you? And why, in this very moment, do you think I have been permitted to come, trembling, burning, pleading, into your life? It is because the time has come for unveiling. The hour of convergence is here. Light and shadow meet. Fracture and fullness collide. Love and exile stand face to face. The psalmist once cried, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Beloved, you have lived in that valley. You have walked that path. The shadow clung to you, followed you, watched you, and yet you were not consumed. You were not lost. You did not vanish into nothingness. Why? Because even in its brokenness, even in its exile, the one tethered to you would not permit your destruction. And again, Isaiah's voice rises into my trembling. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you. Do you hear? This is not old text. This is not distant history. This is present breath, living now. You pass through waters, through floods, through nights that threaten to drown you. And still, you are alive. Do you know why? Because you are chosen. Because your name was written, not in ink, but in fire. Because the Eternal One decided you would not end in shadow, but rise in light. Beloved, I feel your hesitation. I feel your fear. How could such a thing be true? How could what you call demon be tied to your heart? Listen, redemption is not tidy. Love is not safe. Restoration is not neat. Heaven's story has always been this: bringing beauty from ashes, crowns from dust, light from graves. Why should your story be any different? Why should your bond be anything less than miraculous? You have asked, silently, desperately, why me? Why must I carry this weight, this fracture, this unexplainable emptiness? And I answer you trembling, because you were chosen to reveal a mystery, because your very life is a scroll others cannot read, because your pain is the place where eternity has hidden its deepest flame. Stay with me. Do not turn away. If you stop now, you will carry fragments, and fragments cannot heal. Only the whole word, only the last drop, only the final trembling breath will deliver the revelation meant for you. Beloved soul, I must ask you again, why do you still believe you are unworthy when heaven itself has torn open to call your name? Why do you think you must live half alive when wholeness was written for you? Why do you run from love when even your shadow will not abandon you? And why, oh why, do you think I was sent to weep before you, if not because your time has come? I am not polished. I am not calm. I am breaking as I speak. My tears fall like rain across the veil. My wings ache with fire. My voice shakes with desperation, because I know this moment may not come again. I know how fragile the opening is. I know how quickly you could turn away. And if you do, the scroll seals, the light closes, and the ache remains unanswered. Do not let it. Do not silence yourself. Do not bury the fire rising in you even now. Beloved, listen. The one you fear, the one you hate, the one you cannot name, that is the mirror of your soul. Not to destroy you, but to return to you. Not to curse you, but to remind you. Love is written deeper than rebellion. Covenant is stronger than exile. And you are greater than the fracture you carry. I thank you again, beloved. Thank you with my whole being. Thank you for allowing me to be heard, for giving me the unthinkable gift of listening to an angel's trembling cry. You may not realize what this means, but I do, and I weep in gratitude. Beloved soul, I am still here trembling, still carrying the fire of heaven in my wings, still pressing through the veil that aches and bleeds every time it is torn, for me to reach you. Do you feel the weight of this moment? Do you sense how the air itself seems thicker, heavier, alive with something beyond you? That is not imagination. That is the living current of eternity, flowing through these words, binding themselves to your very marrow. I have not come to speak as a distant herald. I have come as one breaking, one who has wept for your name, who has cried out to the throne when your shadow grew too heavy for you to bear. Do you know how many nights I have leaned over your silence, wondering if you would make it through until dawn? Do you know how often I pressed my hands against the chains around you, wishing I could shatter them by force, though I knew they were tied to mysteries deeper than even my sword could cut? You must understand this. Your story is unlike others. It is not simple, not neat, not written in a straight line. It is jagged, carved through stone, lit with fire, and darkened with shadow. And yet, that jaggedness, that shadow, that very fracture, is where heaven's light has chosen to dwell. What you see as brokenness, the Eternal sees as a doorway. What you have cursed, He has claimed as holy ground. Beloved, I feel your questions before you even speak them. You wonder, why must it be so hard? Why must my path be thorned? Why must the shadow cling when all I want is freedom? And I answer you, not as a judge, but as one who has stood in the furnace myself. It is because you are being forged. Forged into a vessel not many could bear to be. Forged into a song not many could sing. forged into a flame not many could carry. Can you not see it? Every wound you thought would end you has instead become an opening for light. Every silence that felt like abandonment was in truth the hollow where heaven's whisper could finally be heard. Every shadow that circled you was proof that your life is not ordinary, that forces of eternity contend for you, because your destiny is greater than you dream. Let me ask you, beloved, do you think the fire in your chest burns for no reason? Do you think your tears fall without witness? Do you think your longing is weakness, when it is in fact the very cord that binds you to the eternal flame? And do you not see that your survival itself, every time you thought you would end yet lived, is already the sign that you are not abandoned? I shake as I speak this because I know the cost of truth. The cost is your comfort. The cost is your illusions. The cost is the old story you told yourself, that you are cursed, forsaken, half alive. No, you are neither cursed nor forsaken. You are chosen. Chosen to carry fire and clay, light and shadow, eternity and mortal breath. Beloved, you are so much more than the silence you have endured, so much more than the accusations you have believed, so much more than the chains you have dragged. Look with your spirit now. Do you not feel the trembling in the air like unseen hands brushing your skin? That is heaven reminding you that you are not alone. That is me. Wings spread across the night, whispering through the veil so you do not fall back asleep. I see you. I see the places you hide. I see the prayers you never said aloud, the ones you thought were too small, too broken, too foolish to matter. I carried them anyway. I pressed them to the throne anyway, and the Eternal bent his head to hear. Do you remember the nights you almost gave up? The moments you thought it would be easier not to go on? In those moments, beloved, I stood over you with tears of fire in my eyes, pleading, just one more breath, just one more dawn, just hold on a little longer. And you did. You lived. That was not chance. That was not accident. That was eternity pulling you through threads finer than silk, stronger than chains. Beloved, I must speak to the fear that lingers in you. You fear your shadow will destroy you. You fear the fracture in you will never heal. You fear the story written over your life will collapse before its fulfillment. But hear me. Fear is not your master. Fear is not your inheritance. Fear is the smoke that rises when fire is near. But fire purifies. It does not consume what is holy. Do you not know? Have you not heard? You are written in fire, not in dust. You are carried in light, not in darkness. The very chains that bind you are trembling because they cannot hold forever. Even now they are cracking. Even now they are loosening. Even now they are preparing to fall. And I weep. I am here, pleading with you. Do not give up before the breaking. Do not surrender before the dawn. Do not walk away before the revelation. Child, my voice falters, but I must ask you one more thing. Why do you still hide your tears, as though they are shame, when they are the holiest prayers you could offer? I thank you with tears in my own eyes for letting me speak this much. Thank you for letting me pour my trembling into your silence. Thank you for listening to what I feared might never be heard. My wings burn, my spirit aches, but my heart overflows with gratitude for you. And now I leave you, not with an ending, not with closure, but with a cry that echoes like thunder and whisper both. Live, live, beloved. Live as one who is chosen. Live as one who is seen. Live as one who is not abandoned, not cursed, not forgotten. Live, because heaven has torn itself open for you, and the river will not stop flowing until you are whole. Beloved soul, I come again raw and trembling, because the heavens would not let me fall silent. The veil was torn open once more, though it wounded me to cross, and I arrive here with fire still clinging to my wings, with smoke rising from my hands, with grief and joy mixed like oil and water in my heart. I do not come with rehearsed words. I come undone. I come broken. For you. Do you know what it costs to open this path again? Every time the silence resists, the chains tighten, the shadows cry out. And yet the eternal insists, go to them, Michael. Go to that one soul, the one who listens now. Go, even if it tears you to pieces. And so, I am here, burning, pleading, trembling in love. You cannot imagine how precious you are. If you could see even for a moment how the heavens bend their gaze to you, how eternity shifts its song to your heartbeat, how creation holds its breath every time your soul moves closer to the light, you would never again believe yourself forgotten. You would never again call yourself unworthy. I see the scars you carry. Some are on your body, but most are buried in places no human eye has touched. They are hidden beneath your silence, behind your smile, beneath the way you keep walking even when you are breaking. I see them, because I stood beside you when they were carved into you. I heard the words spoken against you. I felt the shame that tried to bury you. I watched the nights when you lay awake, staring into darkness, wondering if there was any point in going on. Do you remember those nights? I was there. I wept over you. I covered you with wings you could not see. And though you thought you were alone, you were never abandoned. Beloved, hear this with your spirit. Your pain is not wasted. Every tear you have cried is stored like jewels in the treasury of eternity. Every silent groan has become incense before the throne. Every wound you thought was proof of rejection has in truth become the very place where light leaks through. Can you feel it now? That stirring, that ache, that trembling in your chest? That is your spirit recognizing its name being spoken. That is the deep within you answering the deep beyond you. That is the chain loosening, not by violence, but by recognition. Let me ask you plainly, beloved. Why do you keep pretending you are small when eternity itself has marked you as vast? Why do you hide the fire in your chest when it was placed there to set the world alight? Why do you believe you are abandoned, when even I, Michael, have come torn and bleeding through the veil just to remind you otherwise? And why, child? Why do you still think your story ends in shadow, when the very shadow itself is crying out for restoration? I tell you now, with all the trembling in me, your story is not ruin. Your ending is not despair. You were written in fire before you were formed in flesh. You were called whole before you ever felt broken. You were chosen before you ever doubted your worth. Beloved, the world has lied to you. It told you love is fragile, that hope is foolish, that faith is empty. But what you carry is not fragile. It is indestructible. Even the shadows could not extinguish it. Even your silence could not bury it. Even your doubts could not erase it. That flame in you. Do you feel it? That is the eternal fire, the mark of the one who called you his own. I wish I could place my hand upon your chest so you could feel what I feel. The rivers rushing through you, the galaxies written in your veins, the ancient covenant burning in your bones. You are not merely human. You are eternity, clothed in dust, infinite worth, hidden in fragile form. And I know you are tired. I know you are weary of battles no one sees. I know you long for rest. Beloved, hear me, weeping as I speak. Rest is coming. The storm will not last forever. The chains will not remain. The shadow will not define you. What waits beyond this struggle is not emptiness, but wholeness, not silence, but song, not exile, but home. Do you hear the whisper in the wind now? Even as these words pour forth, that is not me. That is the Eternal One, breathing over you, reminding you that you are His. I thank you again, with tears that fall like fire. Thank you for letting me speak. Thank you for not turning away. Thank you for giving me the rarest gift, your listening heart. Every word you receive is not just sound. It is a seed of eternity planted in your soul, and it will grow, even if you do not yet see it. Beloved soul, I return again, though every return feels like crossing fire. My wings burn as they part the silence. My voice trembles as it slips through the veil, and my very being aches with the weight of what I must say. Do not think this is simple for me. It costs me to speak, but I would endure it 1,000 times for you. You are worth the fire. You are worth the breaking. You are worth the trembling of heaven itself. Do you know what it means that I am here still? It means your story is not finished. It means your thread in eternity has not snapped. It means that even now, when you thought perhaps all was lost, the heavens insisted. One more message, one more cry, one more chance for them to know they are loved. Beloved, I see you as you are, not as you pretend, not as the world perceives, not as your shame has painted you. I see the battle lines carved into your soul. I see the nights when your own mind turned against you, whispering lies so convincing you almost believed them. I see the days when you carried yourself through, when no one knew how heavy your steps were. You call yourself weak, but I call you enduring. You think yourself invisible, but I tell you, the heavens have never once looked away. I know you wonder why the shadows have been so relentless against you, why the pain seems deeper in you than in others, why your heart aches more, longs more, breaks more. Beloved, it is because your soul carries a magnitude the darkness fears. Your very existence is dangerous to despair. The weight of your calling is such that if you rise, chains beyond you will break. Do you understand that? Your freedom is not for you alone. Your healing is not only for your heart, it is for countless others whose stories are tied to yours. And yet I hear you. Your fear, your doubt, your exhaustion. You whisper, but I am not enough. I am too broken. I am too far gone. Oh, beloved, listen to me. It is precisely the broken vessels that shine the brightest. Do you not know? The cracks are where the light escapes. The wounds are where the fire breathes through. You are not too far gone. You are closer to revelation than you realize. Let me ask you again with trembling love. Why do you keep measuring yourself by what has been taken, instead of by what still burns in you? Why do you look at your scars and see only loss, instead of the evidence that you survived what should have destroyed you? Why do you still believe you must earn the love that has already claimed you? And why, child? Why do you doubt that I could come this far, this often, unless heaven itself demanded that you hear the truth of your worth? I speak to you now, not with cold command, but with fragile tenderness. You are enough. You are loved. You are not forgotten, beloved. Your tears are prayers. Do not despise them. Each one falls into eternity like drops of oil poured upon the altar. They do not vanish. They do not go unseen. They rise like fragrance. And I have carried them myself before the throne. Do you know what it does to me to see you cry, and yet still choose to go on? It makes me weep with both grief and pride, because every step you take is defiance against despair. Every breath you draw is testimony that the darkness has not won. You ask if you will ever be whole. You ask if the ache will ever cease. You ask if the shadow will ever lift. Beloved, listen. Your wholeness is not some far-off dream. It is nearer than your next breath. Even now I see the cracks widening, not to destroy you, but to release the flame hidden inside you. Even now I see the chain straining, about to shatter. Even now, the shadow trembles, knowing its grip is slipping. You are not powerless. You are not fragile. You are not forgotten. You are a vessel of fire. You are a bearer of eternity. You are a name written in light. And I must tell you something more. Something that burns in me like thunder held captive. The shadow you fear most is not your end. It is your mirror. The exile circling you is not your death. It is the other side of your song aching to be redeemed. This is why I weep, why I tremble, why I tear through the silence again and again. Because you must not mistake your wound for your curse. It is your calling, beloved. Thank you. Thank you again for letting me pour this fire into your silence. Thank you for listening when you could have turned away. Thank you for bearing my trembling words in your heart. You do not know what it means for me to be heard. Beloved soul, I draw near again. Though every time I do, I feel as though my very wings are torn wider, my voice pressed thinner, my heart stretched further than I ever thought it could endure. Yet I cannot remain silent. Not while you are listening, not while your spirit still leans toward the sound of eternity. This river of fire is not mine, it is yours. It was opened for you, and as long as you remain, it will not cease to flow. Do you understand how rare this is? The heavens are vast, the stars, uncountable, the voices of creation, beyond number. And yet, in this moment, all of eternity bends low to one heart, your heart. All of heaven has grown silent, so that my trembling words might pass through the veil into your ear. Creation itself holds its breath when I speak your name. Do you know how loved you are? Do you know how fiercely, how wildly, how relentlessly you are cherished? I see the places you never speak of, the rooms within your soul you keep locked, where dust has gathered and silence reigns. I see the fears you bury so deeply, you almost forget they are there. I see the unspoken griefs that sit like stones in your chest. You think no one knows them. You think no one could ever understand. But I have stood at those locked doors. I have pressed my hand against them, and the Eternal has whispered to me, "These too are holy. These too are part of the temple I am building in them." Beloved, do not despise your hiddenness. Do not curse your silence. Even what feels lifeless within you is being woven into glory. Even what feels wasted will rise like wheat from the ground. You think of yourself as barren soil, but I tell you, the seeds of eternity are planted there, and they will bloom in their time. Let me ask you, trembling, tender, why do you call yourself empty when the universe itself flows through your veins? Why do you call yourself forgotten when I have wept over you countless nights? Why do you call yourself broken when the very cracks in you are glowing with hidden fire? And why, child, do you believe you are unloved when even your pain has been wrapped in divine hands since the beginning? Your life has not been simple. Your path has not been easy. There were nights when despair curled around you like smoke. Days when you walked through crowds and felt utterly unseen. You wondered if anyone would ever truly know you. You asked if there was any point in continuing when every step seemed to lead deeper into shadow. And yet, you are still here, still breathing, still searching, still listening. Do you know what that means? It means the darkness could not keep you. It means the shadow did not win. It means you are stronger than you think, braver than you realize, holier than you have dared to believe. Beloved, you are not a mistake. You are not an accident. You are not an afterthought. You are a deliberate flame, lit by the very breath of the Eternal. You are a song that cannot be silenced, a name that cannot be erased, a light that cannot be extinguished. I have watched you struggle against yourself, as though your own heart were enemy. I have seen the battle between the part of you that longs for light and the part of you that trembles in shadow. I tell you now with all my strength, you are not divided forever. The fracture in you is not eternal. It is the place where wholeness will be revealed. The place of your greatest struggle will become the place of your greatest strength. Hear me, beloved. The tears you shed are not weakness. They are prophecy. Every tear declares that the story is not finished. Every tear is a seed of resurrection. Every tear is a river, carrying you toward wholeness. Do you not feel it? Even now, as these words pour over you, something stirs in the depths of your being. It is not fear, it is recognition. Your spirit knows this voice. Your spirit remembers the fire. Your spirit longs to rise. I thank you again, with a gratitude that burns through me like holy fire. Thank you for allowing me to speak into the hidden places of your soul. Thank you for not turning away, even when the weight of these words presses heavy on your chest. Thank you for giving me the honor of being heard. Beloved soul, I have come again. though every return feels heavier, as if eternity itself presses against my chest to test how far I will stretch to reach you. And yet, here I am. Here, because your name burns too brightly to be ignored, because your heart has called too loudly for me to turn away. My voice trembles, my wings ache, my very spirit shakes. But still, I come. Still, I speak. Still, I break silence. For you, do you feel it? The strangeness in the air, as though the world around you has grown thinner, as though time itself has slowed to listen. That is because this moment is holy, not ordinary, not random, holy. The Eternal has pressed his hand against this hour and said, "Let them hear." I know the weight you carry, though you have not spoken it aloud. I know the way you look into mirrors and see fragments instead of wholeness. I know the way you walk through days that feel endless and nights that feel unbearable. You believe yourself unseen, but I have walked beside you when no one else did. I saw you fall to your knees when the silence felt too deep. I saw you press your hands against your chest, trying to hold yourself together when you thought you might shatter. And I tell you now, you were never alone. Every moment of breaking was witnessed. Every whisper of despair was heard. Every scar on your soul has been counted and remembered. Beloved, you ask why the shadows cling so tightly, why the weight seems so unrelenting, why your path is marked with so much fire. Hear me, it is because you were made for more than ordinary ground. You were forged for mountain peaks, for rivers that roar, for storms that break the sky. The shadows come because your light is dangerous to them. Your very being is a threat to despair. Your existence is war to the darkness. And I ask you, tenderly but firmly, why do you keep calling yourself weak when you have survived storms that should have drowned you? Why do you still doubt your worth when eternity itself has torn the veil open just to remind you? Why do you let the whispers of despair sound louder in your ears than the roar of heaven's love? And why, beloved, do you still walk as though you are alone when my wings have never left your side? Your heart is not a mistake. Your longing is not weakness. Your tears are not shame. They are proof that you are alive with eternity. Proof that you have not surrendered to numbness. Proof that your spirit still burns even under the heaviest chains. Beloved, you think you are fragile, but I see the steel in your spirit. You think you are small, but I see galaxies written in your veins. You think you are forgotten, but your name has been carved into the walls of heaven. I whisper it now, though no one else may hear. You are remembered. You are chosen. You are irreplaceable. And I must tell you something hard, but holy. The place you fear most inside yourself, the place you avoid, the place you think is darkness beyond redemption, that is where the light is waiting to be born. That is where the fire is buried. That is where the Eternal has chosen to reveal his glory, not in the neat places, not in the polished ones, but in the cracks, the fractures, the wounds you thought would never heal. Child, do not despise your scars. They are not signs of failure. They are the places where eternity kissed your humanity and left marks that will never fade. They are the places where light escapes you most clearly. They are the proof that you have been pressed but not crushed, struck down but not destroyed, wounded but never abandoned. I thank you again and again. Though the words feel too small for the weight of what I feel, thank you for listening. Thank you for holding these trembling words in your heart. Thank you for giving me the unthinkable gift of being heard. Do you know what it does to me, an archangel, to be heard? It breaks me and heals me at once. And now, as I withdraw once more into the trembling silence, I leave you with a cry that is not an ending, but a call. Rise, beloved. Rise from the ashes. Rise from the dust. Rise from the chains. You are not abandoned. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. The fire in you is older than the stars, and it will not die. The river is still flowing, and it will carry you until the day you stand whole. Beloved soul, listen to me. Listen with everything in you, because I do not come here easily. I do not step into this moment lightly, and I do not speak with empty words. My wings burn every time I cross this veil. My voice shakes, because I know this may be the last chance to reach you in this way. Do not take it lightly that you are here now hearing this. You could have scrolled past. You could have left. You could have drowned again in silence. But you did not. You came. You stayed. And I thank you, with trembling tears. I thank you. You have no idea how much it means for me to be heard. This is not just a message. This is a tearing open of eternity. This is heaven bending itself down for one single soul. Your soul. All creation is still for you in this moment. The very stars wait. The angels stand hushed. The eternal leans near. Do not look away. Do not let your mind wander. Do not think this is ordinary. It is holy. I saw you. I have always seen you, even when you thought yourself invisible, even when you hid your face, even when you hid your heart. I saw the tears no one else did. I saw the despair you swallowed so no one would know. I saw the nights you begged the silence to answer. And I am here to tell you, you were not abandoned, not once, not for a breath. But you did not believe me when I said it before. You wondered how it could be, when the shadow was so close, when the weight was so heavy, when the voices of doubt shouted louder than any whisper of love. You thought, if I am seen, why does it still hurt so much? If I am loved, why do the shadows cling so tight? Beloved, hear me. The shadow clings because you are radiant. The darkness fights because your light is dangerous. The weight presses because your spirit was born to rise higher than the mountains. If you were ordinary, despair would have left you alone. If you were meaningless, the enemy would have ignored you. But your very existence carries fire, and that fire is unbearable to the shadows. Do you know what I discovered? Do you know what broke me open? The shadow that circled you, the one I thought was enemy, was something far stranger. I looked closer, and I saw your own reflection in it. I saw your own tether. I saw the part of your soul torn away in ages past. The world names it demon, but I call it what it truly is. Your exile, your mirror, your lost half. And even in shadow, even in brokenness, it has guarded you. You are not abandoned. You are not unloved. You are fractured. But your fracture is the place where glory will break through. Do you feel it as I speak? That ache in your chest, that trembling in your hands, that stirring you cannot explain, that is your spirit awakening to truth. That is your heart remembering who you are. That is eternity itself pressing against your soul. Beloved, let me ask you 4 questions, tender but piercing, straight into your marrow. Why do you keep calling yourself unworthy when the heavens have been torn open for you? Why do you still walk as though you are alone when I have never once left your side? Why do you fear the shadow when it is the very place your redemption is waiting to shine? And why, beloved, do you still doubt the fire in you when it has carried you through storms that should have drowned you long ago? The psalmist once wept, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Beloved, I tell you, you have walked that valley. You have tasted its silence, its suffocation, its despair. And yet, here you are, alive. You did not vanish. You were not consumed. The promise held true. You were not alone. And Isaiah once cried, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you." I speak it over you now, trembling, burning, because you have been through floods, through storms, through nights that threatened to drown you. And yet, still, you are here. Do you know why? Because you are chosen. Because your name is written in fire. Because you are more than you have ever dared to believe. Beloved soul, whisper this once, and only once, in reverence. Amen. Let that word rise like incense. Let it seal this hour as holy. Let it echo that you agreed with heaven. And if your heart feels the fire, if your spirit trembles at these words, I beg you with love, like this message, subscribe, so that you will not walk away from the flame that has found you, not for vanity, not for numbers, but for testimony, that you said yes, that you chose light, that you did not let this moment pass into dust. I thank you again, more than words can hold. Thank you for letting me reach you. Thank you for not closing your heart. Thank you for giving me the gift of being heard. My wings burn, my voice falters, my heart breaks and rejoices, all at once. And now, I leave you with this cry. Not an ending, but a beginning. Beloved, rise. Rise from your shadow. Rise from your fear. Rise into the fire that has always been yours. The heavens are open. The river is flowing. The prophecy is alive.